Hey guys, Dantix here, bringing you some Outriders demo information. For those who aren't aware, Outriders is an action RPG looter shooter coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, SX, and Steam. You take the role of an Altered, a soldier changed by mysterious stones and granted powerful abilities like controlling earth, fire, time, or technology. We're getting a chance to play a large demo of the game for free without any pesky pre-ordering, you know, how it used to be in the golden days of gaming. So in this video, I'll run through when you can expect to play and what exactly you can expect from the demo, which is a lot. This includes the missions, the classes and their breakdowns, items, mods, and more. So the demo includes the full opening chapter of the game, not a single mission, not a single section, the full act. So if you rush down the main line, that's over 3 hours of content. However, all the side areas and quests will be open to you as well. The side quests are replayable as well if you want to keep trying new things out. Some quests will be locked until particular criteria is met though, like defeating a boss. Here's what is most exciting to me though, you can play as all 4 of the classes in the game. None are locked off to you. I'll run through what each class can do later on, but there are Technomancers, Pyromancers, Tricksters, and Devastators. Each utilize powerful abilities that have short cooldowns. The demo will let you play around with all 4 and experiment with the 3 different mix and match paths you can take down their skill trees. For example, the Devastator can be a tank or even a melee DPS. A key mechanic is 3 of the 4 classes need to kill in order to heal, encouraging an aggressive playstyle. You'll have access to the first 4 powers in the demo, as it seems you're level capped. Each class has a total of 8 powers, each of which can be heavily modified, so you'll have a chance to taste each of the classes and what they can do. If you find one you like, don't fret, or your progress will carry over to the full game. Yes, every bit of effort you put into playing the demo will pay dividends, which is a great thing because during the demo you can find items and gear to support your class. So if you find something that's particularly juicy, you won't have to wave goodbye forever. If you play on old gen and upgrade to current gen, your progress will still carry over. Since progress carries over, you might want to spend a bit of time in the character creator, making a face that not only your mother will love. Time won't be wasted here, unless of course you don't pick up the full game. There seems to be a lot of options available from face shape, skin and eye color, hair and markings. These will be important as not only will you see your character in third person, the game is an RPG at heart with conversational scenes taking place with your character fully voiced. You can change your appearance at the camp if you want to try a new look. If you find weapons you don't like, you can dismantle them for parts. You can also come across ore deposits too in the demo, which can be mined. Parts and ore will be used to mod your gear with powerful prefixes like the ability to regenerate your health when your shots land, shots bringing down lightning on enemies, or the ability to freeze enemies when you reload. This gun has the mods Moaning Wind and Anomaly Surge, which seems to focus around increasing the shotgun's damage in an AoE around you. It might pay to store up some resources for the full game. The demo features fully functional multiplayer as well. Right now it's co-op based and you can look for a party at your camp. The game will also warn you if you're about to join someone ahead of you in the story so you can avoid spoilers. A feature that frankly should be standard across all games these days is cross-play. You can play with your friends and others no matter what system they're on. You can activate this in the settings as the feature is still a beta version and is off by default. So out of the gate, the Outriders demo is 22GB and has no option of a preload, so you need to start the demo as it releases in your time zone. Release times are as follows, with most of the world getting it on the 25th of February with no plans of an end date. So that means you can, probably right now, jump in and see if this game is for you. Now, what exactly are the classes in Outriders and how do they play? Let's run through them now. There's the Technomancer, Trickster, Pyromancer, and the Devastator. Let's start with the Devastator. The Devastator uses gravitational and earth-based attacks. The Devastator recovers a large amount of health when enemies die around it, up to 24%. This leans into their want to be mostly up close and personal with their enemies, getting a bonus bleed effect with their melee attack. The Devastator will have more health and armor than any of the other classes, especially if you go down the heavy tanky paths. Selecting the Devastator will give you just a flat increased health and armor rating. Though this doesn't mean with investment they can't do tons of damage. Let's go through 4 of their 8 powers, starting with Gravity Leap. It pulls you out of combat and lets you target an enemy and then charge into him with devastating effect, meaning that the Devastator has an easy way of getting up close and personal. It also doubles as an easy way to heal, as any kills next to you will boost you up. It also interrupts enemies, stopping bosses for example from channeling. You just don't want this on cooldown for when you really need it. The next ability is Reflect Bullets, and it does exactly what you'd think. By manipulating gravity, you channel a barrier in front of you. This barrier catches all bullets, letting you defend yourself and your allies Matrix style. Unlike the Matrix though, you don't just let the caught bullets fall to the ground, you can send them right back at nearby enemies, bringing a new meaning to stop hitting yourself. The next ability is Impale, which is a creative name because yet again it does what it says. Impales your targets. The enemy you're targeting will be attacked with a spike, interrupting their actions and dealing damage. If the damage would be lethal, they are impaled. This will give your whole squad an armor and health bonus for a set amount of time. Keep in mind abilities can be modified. One such mod is called Spike Forest, and it makes it so Impale can strike additional targets. The last power we'll showcase is Endless Mass. It summons a rock formation that pulls all enemies in an area around to it, setting them up for combos such as hitting them all with your Gravity Leap or an ally's AoE abilities. If you leap in, you can then activate Reflect Bullets while you have the enemy's attention. The Devastator has 3 skill trees that can be invested into freely. You get class points by leveling up, and those points can be placed into nodes. Nodes will give you various passive bonuses to change your playstyle. You won't be able to fully invest into each tree, so you need to make choices. It seems you can though reset your investment for free. The Devastator has the following trees: Vanquisher, Warden, and Seismic Shifter. The Vanquisher is all about close range combat, and it provides bonuses for things like shotguns and assault rifles and damaging close range skills. The Warden is the tank path with high bonuses to health, armor, and resistances, as well as skills that supplement this. The Seismic Shifter is all about damage over time and mid-range. It focuses on anomaly damage as well as bleed effects and supplement skills like Impale. This is another DPS focus. Your gear can augment these trees as well. An example is with the Seismic Commander's set, which makes it so your Earthquake ability, which we haven't seen yet, inflicts bleed on enemies. The helm lets you cast Impale 3 times in a row before the cooldown hits, and the chest piece lets you strike 2 additional targets, so this in turn sets Impale up as a great AoE control ability from a previously single target. Or it can be used to disrupt a boss multiple times. With the 3-piece set bonus, it makes it so you do 150 bonus damage to enemies that are bleeding. The coolest thing about them though is their gear. Look at this shotgun. Okay, the next class is the Pyromancer. The Pyromancer, not surprisingly, uses fire and ash to fight. Most of their abilities are area of effect based, and they focus around doing hella damage and controlling targets. They don't have the movement abilities to get in and out, and are best at medium range. By picking the Pyromancer, you get a bonus to anomaly power and an increase of your skill Life Leech. Notice you get no bonus to your health or armor like the Devastator. You regenerate 24% health by killing targets marked by your abilities, meaning killing those that have been affected by your damage. So you're encouraged to burn everything you can. The Pyromancer's melee deals more damage than the Devastator and will set enemies on fire, which means a heal if they die. Most of the Pyromancer's abilities inflict burning, which adds a damage over time effect. It also interrupts the enemy when applied, meaning the Pyro will find it quite easy to interrupt enemies casting powerful abilities. So let's take a look at 4 of their abilities, with the first being Thermal Bomb. Thermal Bomb sets an enemy ablaze and does damage. If that target dies under the effect, they rise into the air and explode, doing damage to all around it. So you might want to ask your allies to help you bring down the target. Ash Blast is next, and will set all targets around the Pyromancer in ash. Ash will prevent targets from doing anything for a set amount of time. This makes for a fantastic crowd control ability. You can use it to give some breathing room to you and your team by stopping them breathing, or you can use it to set up headshots or AoE abilities. It's a very versatile move and comes out almost immediately. The next ability is Heat Wave, and it unleashes a line of hot fire to burn your targets for big damage at a medium distance. Like most of their abilities, it sets enemies on fire and is good with dealing with groups. The last power is Overheat. It does damage in an AoE around you. On the surface, it's a low damage ability. However, if your targets are burning, they take a much larger amount, making this a great follow-up ability to things like Heat Wave. It also combos nicely with Thermal Bomb to ensure the enemy dies and therefore explodes. The Pyromancer has 3 skill trees: Ashbreaker, Firestorm, and Tempest. The Ashbreaker tree will provide bonuses against marked targets, as well as provide a boost in anomaly power. This is your closest tree to focusing on control, as it does boost your Ash skill. The Firestorm focuses on skill damage, burning damage, and anomaly power. This is as pure a DPS tree as you can get. The Tempest tree, on the other hand, is more of a tank role, increasing your health and reducing the damage you take from certain sources, increasing your healing and even letting you revive yourself when you die like a phoenix. Keep in mind, all your skills can be altered by not only your skill trees, but by gear. The next class is the Trickster. The Trickster is a melee-focused hit-and-run specialist. Think Rogue, except with space-time altering powers. Like the Devastator, the Trickster heals when killing enemies up close, though at a lower amount of 20%. Instead of just health, they get 12% of their maximum health as shields as well, encouraging that hit-and-run playstyle. They have the highest damaging melee attack, and it also slows enemies' hit. But to get an idea of what the Trickster can do, let's look at 4 of their powers. The first is Temporal Slice. All enemies hit by this high damage melee slice will become paralyzed, which is showed by their skeleton becoming visible, which is quite frankly a really cool effect. They are then slowed after. If they die, it's really visually satisfying. The next power is Borrowed Time. When you activate it, you get an instant percentage of your max health as shields. It also marks the spot where you activated it. You can then move about freely. If you activate the ability again, it will teleport you back to where you marked. This means you'll become tankier and are able to enter a high risk area and get out before things get too sticky. The next ability is called Slow Trap. It creates a dome around you that slows enemies and enemy projectiles while not affecting you and your allies. Think of it as your own personal bullet time bubble. You can use it to sidestep bullets and attacks, as well as give you time to revive a downed ally. The last power is Hunt the Prey. When activated, it highlights an enemy you target. You can then teleport right behind them instantly, gaining a portion of your max health as shields and slowing the enemy. As a bonus, let's take a quick look at Twisted Bullets, which buff your weapon's magazine with anomaly-infused bullets that deal significantly more damage until you reload or switch weapons. So you may be thinking, Hunt the Prey and Borrowed Time would work well together, and you're right. Activate Borrowed Time, then hunt the prey behind your target, get sticky, then teleport out. You could also drop a Slow Trap and teleport out to pick off enemies at a distance. The Trickster has 3 skill trees: Master of Space, Harbinger, and Assassin. The Master of Space branch provides bonuses while the player is moving. It will also provide bonuses to close range damage, movement powers, shotguns, and SMGs. The Harbinger is the tank path of the Trickster, providing damage mitigation and shield bonuses to help you and your team survive. The Assassin path focuses on your skill damage output. Several nodes provide flat damage increases and even skill leech options. Taking a look at a Trespasser's Cowl, we can see that a set bonus makes it so you can't die while in the Slow Trap, whereas the armor makes it so allies receive less damage in the Slow Trap while increasing its range by 2 meters, making for a quite tanky control-focused Trickster. The last class we'll be looking at is the Technomancer. It's the longest range class who uses gadgets and summons to support at long range with a wide range of adaptive options. Also, the best class for using sniper rifles. By selecting the Technomancer, you get an increase to long range weapon damage, as well as a 15% skill and weapon life leech, so you simply heal as you deal damage instead of having to kill. The Technomancer's melee deals the lowest base damage, but freezes all enemies hit, which is a devastating control mechanic, leaning into the Technomancer's need to be far away from enemies. So let's look at 5 of the 8 powers the Technomancer has access to. The first is Tool of Destruction. If you press the button, you'll summon a rocket launcher. By holding down the button, you'll summon a minigun, both with limited ammo. The rocket launcher deals high damage in an AoE and interrupts enemies' abilities. The minigun, on the other hand, deals a high rate of fire single target damage. The next ability is Fixing Wave. By activating it, you heal yourself, your allies, and your constructs regardless of your distance, so you can keep at range and still heal your friends. It gives the Technomancer the option of transitioning into a support role. The next power is Pain Launcher. By pressing the button, you summon a construct, a stationary missile launcher which fires a volley at enemies, dealing high damage in a line AoE carpet bomb style, perfect for grouped up or frozen enemies. This also interrupts. Blighted Turret is next, and it's another automated turret, but this one is more close range. It fires a toxic spray which damages enemies and poisons them. You can use turrets to distract enemies while you flank, or run away and regroup, or simply just do more damage. The last power we're showing is Cold Snap. It's a large area effect ability that freezes all enemies in place around it. This is similar to the Pyro's Ash Blast in that it affects those around you and controls them, letting you line them up for a sniper rifle headshot or even a pain launcher. You can freeze a large group and set them up in a choke point to really hammer down the pain. The Technomancer has 3 skill trees: Pestilence, Tech Shaman, and Demolisher. Pestilence, to no surprise, is about decay and damage. It focuses around gun damage, particularly assault and sniper rifles, as well as buffing your toxic damage skills. Tech Shaman is about indirect damage by boosting your turrets as well as boosting your freezing and healing. An example is one node significantly increases your damage while turrets are activated. The Demolisher is a jack of all trades, buffing a wide range of skills and passives. It also has modifiers to toxic damage, one we may need to play around with to truly understand. The Grim Inventor set bonus makes it so enemies hit with the Pain Launcher restores 20% of your ammo for Tool of Destruction, meaning you can reload your rockets or minigun rounds when they get low by popping the Pain Launcher at the right time. Tool of Destruction with the Mask piece also has additional rockets and a penetration bonus. The coat gives you a huge amount of armor when you activate Tool of Destruction, turning it into an oh shit button. It also increases the amount of rockets the Pain Launcher fires. So from what we can see, all 4 classes have a way of dishing out the pain, ways of controlling and interrupting targets, and ways of taking pain. Which class do you think you'll play come release? So that's what you can expect with the Outriders free demo. Hopefully that's given you all you need to know to jump in and play for yourself. If you liked the video, you know what to do. For everything else RPG, keep your eyes peeled to Slashed Antics. Ciao friends.